Hello, everyone. We're here with Doric and New Zealand ambassador Hunter McRae. We haven't seen him for a while, so we're going to catch up with him and see how he's going. Hello, Hunter.
How are you, mate? Good to see you.
What's going on, mate? Where are you? Tell us in the world, where are you right now?
So I'm currently in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, which is about 20 minutes away from Road America, which is where I'm racing this weekend. Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, obviously is where Road America is, and it's like one of the most beautiful tracks and kind of legendary circuits, like with so much history we go to. So I love Road America. I won my first ever race in America, first professional race here. So I've always got a soft spot for it. It's just an awesome track. So yeah, I'm pretty pumped. There's a lot of I kind of think good momentum with a lot of things like behind the scenes that should make this a good weekend, I think. So looking forward to kind of getting a bit of wind back in the sails after a less than ideal month of May. But yeah, ready to go fight.
You say less ideal month of May. Now, you're a young man chasing your dream other side of the world. How do you deal with that disappointment, given your situation being, if your parents and your family are on this side of the world and you're by yourself over there? How do you deal with that disappointment to drive you forward to achieve your goals?
I mean, at the end of the day, I've always wanted, to my goal was to be a race car driver. It never changes. So for me, I guess, like you said, it's tough when, you have a bad weekend, and especially when a lot of the things are outside of your control with, some issues with just stuff that you physically can't control driving the car. That's what makes it hard. So it's, you got to focus what you can control. And I think learning as much as you can, focusing forward, because I think one thing that I've learned over the years is not, letting the lows get too low, trying to, let the highs be high, but don't kind of have this roller coaster of emotions, which I've probably been guilty of in my younger years, especially like racing Formula Ford and things like that. I'm a pretty like emotional person in the sense of like, I wear my heart on my sleeve a bit, and it helps me in some areas and maybe doesn't in others. But over the years, I've learned to kind of control that kind of ups and downs. And I think the biggest thing is just always being refreshed. And then, like I said, kind of moving on and focusing forward and not dragging any of the negatives with you. So, yeah, it's tough when you put so much into it and you don't get the result that you want. But there's always the next race. And for my situation, it's been still a solid year. I've won a race and had a pole already. So being on the podium and things like that. So there's plenty of races left, and I know that I'm gonna win more races and more poles this year. So I'm just excited for it, and that's all I can be is focus on the future.
So this weekend you're at Road America, and as you said, it's one of the most legendary tracks that an open wheeler drive can go to in America. Can you describe for your fans in New Zealand and Australia who's watching this video a bit about the track and what makes it so great?
It's a good question. It's like the track is very fun. It's a lot of long straights. So probably the longest straights we go to. So, we've got the highest top speeds, like around 160 mile an hour, which is like, just under 260 kilometers an hour for us, which is quite fast. And then a lot of high speed committed corners. You've got turn one, which is like a really fast, 180 kilometers an hour mid speed, and just a lot of really cool iconic corners. There's the carousel, which is a really sweeping, almost flat, flat out in fourth gear, long sweeper, right hand sweeper. And it's just so cool. The whole facility is awesome. There's beautiful trees around, and anyone that you ask, they love this track. So Scotty McLaughlin, I saw he put a post up, and he said that he did a test at Road America, and it's easily in his top three tracks straight away. You know, he's driven obviously Bathurst, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and things like that. So I think that kind of sums it up. It's just one of those tracks that even if, you know, you haven't been there in real life, I grew up driving it like on PlayStation 2 with my dad, even on like really young. And then these days the simulators and things like that, it's one of those tracks that you will like drive, you know, because it's Road America. So on track, it's awesome. One of the funnest tracks. And, you know, when I put a pole lap together there before in USF 2000. It was one of the most satisfying things. It's because it's just such a fun track. And, you know, off the track too, it's like the best track food I've ever had. You know, there's like really good food that you can get, like fresh. They call it brats over here, which is basically just like a sausage, but really tasty, and, you know, heaps of good stuff. So it's such an awesome event, and it's also the team's home event. So there's always a lot of support, and yeah, pulling up to victory lane here is pretty special. So hopefully we can do it again.
So you're fifth in points going into this weekend. What are you aiming to do other than obviously win? But like obviously winning is the goal for this weekend. But, you know, 15 points, you're trying to climb that ladder this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I went from second to fifth after I had a rough weekend at the IMS triple header with some engine issues, which was just, you know, reliability issues outside anyone's control, really, just bad luck, which was tough, especially after having a tear off get stuck in my airbox at St. Pete when I was in the lead. And then I lost 10 mile an hour from that. So basically, I've had some pretty terrible luck, which is, you know, you can't control that. So as much as it's frustrating, you know, I can't really be worrying about that too much. So, you know, I know what I can do. So for me right now, like, I'm just going to go take it race by race and win races. And I think if I'm doing that, the championship situation will take care of itself. So, you know, there's 10 races to go. So there's a lot of races left, a lot of points up for grabs still. Obviously being fifth isn't where I want to be, but, you know, I'm still in the hunt. I just need to make sure that I keep putting myself, kind of get myself back in where I need to be by obviously doing what I just talked about. So I'm not even really thinking about the championship. You know, obviously I know where I'm at, obviously getting bumped down recently to fifth. But, you know, I'm in that position where if I, you know, do what I know I can do and what I started the season doing when we had no issues, I'll be back where I need to be. So it's kind of simple as that.
Well, it's a busy week for Doric Ambassadors as our Manhunters in the US saying we've got the supercars and superbikes in Darwin as well. So the Doric triple threat is on. Hunter Macrae, always good to see you. Thanks for your time.
No problem, Tom. Thank you. And wishing all the best to everyone competing in Australia with Ollie Bayliss and Will Davison. So, yeah, good luck, boys.
All right. Talk soon. Ciao.